Here's how pricing your home wrong can cost you big time. Here's how a pricing strategy of a home starting at $1.68 million flopped big time and hurt the seller, the buyers, and the neighborhood. Stay with me and I'll show you why constant price changes backfires on the property and the seller and the agent for making constant changes. The market just can't tolerate this. My name is Brian. I'm your Realtor Mentor. Please follow my videos and like them and leave a comment about what you think about this scenario. This listing started out in May of this year at $1.688 million. Look at this, 1.688, 1.588, 1.4888, 1.3988, and the big one, $999,989. Not to give myself an attaboy and a pat in the back, but I did initially tell my clients, listen, I think we're not even going to be in the ballpark of what they're looking for, but I priced that home at about 1.4 million or just a little bit less. And I said to them, you know what, due to the comps, due to the fact that the upgrades were kind of inferior and outdated, and it also didn't have a finished basement, I didn't know what they were thinking about putting it so high. It was clear that the agent and the sellers weren't interested in comparing to what the market value was. That's what always is the problem with pricing these days. At the end of October, they decided they were going to try to start a bidding war. They dropped the price to $999,000 there or abouts, and they were hoping that 2 weeks down the road that they were going to have competition and get the price they were looking for. So when the sun went down and the offer holding presentation started, they had 7 offers. Out of the 7 offers, we were included in this. And much to everybody's surprise, they couldn't get what they wanted. They rejected and rescinded every single offer. I was told personally by the agent I wasn't even close. And for that matter, the rest of the group wasn't even any better. And I said to her, what did you expect? You can't put it at $999,000 expecting everybody to come up $400,000, $500,000. At most, with that strategy, everybody's expecting $100,000 to $150,000. And in Oakville, maybe $200,000. If you're lucky, $250,000 if it's close to the water and it's just like got all the bells and whistles. But you know what? She didn't think it was pertinent to what I was saying. The first out of the 3 problems is pricing confusion. Nobody knows what's going on. The seller is confused. They don't understand why people don't want to buy this place. And secondly, the buyers start to think that there's a stigma with the property. What's wrong with this property that has been out there so long, since May, and the prices are going up and down? So they start to think, what's wrong with the property? Is there something physically wrong? Or was there a death in the family? Or, you know what? They come up with all kinds of ideas on. So at the end of the day, the buyers are disappointed, but the sellers are just absolutely dejected that what do they do next? They can't even figure out what's wrong with their home. Number 2, they missed the target value. Listing it at $999,000 only attracted bargain hunters, not serious homeowners, which means you got those types of investors that are just looking for something to rent or use it as an investment property, which brings the neighborhood down. And like my guys, thinking 1.4 million was the actual price, there was a boatload of people out there that thought that there was something wrong and there was no reason for them to buy a property that was so undervalued. And number 3, the neighborhood impact. This is what kills the group. I mean, they don't even know what to do, because when they decide to sell, some agents will start to look and try to value and might make the mistake of putting the value of the property either too high or too low, and then it just sets unrealistic expectations for the. And the neighbors might struggle with the valuation of that property because they'll devalue their own. This will make everything seem like as if that property or the people there are desperate, and that sends the wrong message. How this affects you, you have no idea. For the seller, it's the overpricing, the underpricing, and wasting everybody's valuable time. That's a lot of money, and people don't equate that to a value. For the buyers, it confuses everybody, and it affects the reputation of all of your colleagues, because you know what? They start to look at you and wonder, do you really know what you're doing? And what the heck is that other guy doing? Is he smarter or dumber than you? And for the neighborhood, the wild fluctuation affects it completely, all in the negative way. People start to think that there's something wrong with the neighborhood as a whole, not just the property. Have you seen a listing like this? This is your call to action. Comment below. Tell me what your experience was and what you feel about this situation, how it would affect you. When you get down to it, it's about strategy, timing, and how it will affect you. And affect you is by understanding the market. How are you ever going to learn if things aren't consistent? I'm Brian, your Realtor Mentor. Follow me for more insight on how to price your home property, because really, if you do it the right way, it'll take away all the stress and agony. Real estate really needs to be stress-free and simple.